Okay, so I've had a quick look through this again. Something here is not right. This is now render process. As is that. Just saying if the app gets closed, the application gets closed. If there is a render process, get rid of it. So, on the whole, this is looking like a much nicer piece of code. Still not looking that beautiful, but by my standards, things are fairly well sort of enclosed. Sorta. But I have to think about this. I have to think about the logic that I actually need to carry out. Man, this is quite annoying, to say the least. Just to do that. That I really need to carry out when this gets executed. At the moment I've got this bunch of code. And I've got this. And you know what I think I should do is I should just compile it. Oh. Get command line were not found, eh? So, what am I using to get that? Win32. Guess it is. And I think I do it just like that. You just not caught up, or is it that I need to say using Win32? And do I do this? Right, now there'll be loads of things. Temperature is not found. Project will be not found, except for the fact that I'm just going to create something in this called project. Seg not found. Oh, G matrix not found, okay. Well, I suppose I can import GUI classes. It wants me to import all of GUI. Wow. I hadn't... It's obvious, really. What I hadn't predicted was this reorganization having to involve that. Because actually the GUI classes source is a mishmash, which actually includes a bunch of stuff that appears in general. Limits, wraps, rex overlap maybe? Yeah, rex overlap. And it includes a bunch of classes which are part of Monkey, like matrices. They've got better matrix and monkey and vector classes, which would make my code cleaner. But there are things which have been associated with other code that I've written, and I've just kind of developed alongside the code that I've made. And also when I made the GUI, I kind of took a lot of these classes that I'd been using for a long time and had to make another version of them because the GUI was independent. I wanted the GUI to be independent of the code that I was writing. And in a sense, the code I was writing at the time, in the code I was writing at the time, these classes had developed into something else, so it's all a long, boring story. The upshot of which is, God, look at that, I'm defining it again, right there. I should be defining that probably here in GUI classes, and not in general, which is where I really define it. Because look, I've got a matrix class in general. I am off my head. This is really ridiculous. What on earth do I have copies of these classes? There must be some reason, but I need to make some decisions just now about how much I'm going to change. Why is this even in here? This is like a remnant of something. I mean, these have a lot of similarities to G vertices and G matrix, but they'll also be different. You know, they won't be as up to date. Really, this is what I've been working with, and I think I'm just going to include the GUI classes. They're useful, and they're okay. And they are my most up-to-date version of these classes. So, namespace GUI space. Okay, so it seems I am allowed to do that. Okay. I don't want GUI. I just want GUI classes. It's kind of like I don't want recursor, I just want recursor classes. And I will use GUI space. I might end up having to make this something like GUI class space. I'm not including general space here. Like, what would it take to get rid of general? One thing it would take. I'll bet that inside GUI classes, inside matrix, yeah, there they are again. General has to go. Inside GUI classes I don't have 2 degrees, but I bet I do inside GUI constants. This is ridiculous, but I'm gonna just have a look. GUI globals, yeah, 2 degrees. I'm surprised that I haven't got TX, TY, J, anyway. So these could come out, they could go into GUI classes. GUI classes is a misnomer. Really, I should just call it general. And I should accept that my GUI uses my set of general classes. And G could stand for general. I'm a genius. But in the meantime, general will go soon. I will just issue it, whatever the word is. And then I'll be able to get rid of general space, or I'll keep general space and I will put it in GUI classes. What do I have to think about? I'm getting this now. GUI globals. I'm going to do this bit. I'm going to take these and I'm going to take them away from there. I'm going to put them into the top of here. And I'm going to go to GUI globals, and I'll take these, which have no place there, and I'll put them there. General, general, general. Save all. In GUI classes, I'll bet these are defined somewhere else. I think they're defined inside Mojo. Anyway, I'm going to see what happens. I'll just see what happens. I mean, they are distinct, you know, because of the namespaces, but wow, it's still pretty bad to me. I feel like it is. Let me see. In GUI classes, I want to go to GUI matrix and I want to rend this bugger out. Like I just chucked that in there. That's from elsewhere. Anyway. Right. So, what don't you know first? You don't know about project preview position. I'm getting a recursor classes, so I know what a project is. I think I will think of this piece of code as one big piece, I guess. Things dedicated to rendering the curve. Image and my canvas. Now, I did decide that I would have Mojo and I wouldn't have my canvas. So I won't have my canvas, I'm just going to have canvas. For the purposes of this, that's fine. I use my canvas because I've got to draw the GUI to it, and I do all my thing. You know, my canvas just allows me to draw vertices untransformed directly with, you know, I set the order and draw the vertices myself with my canvas. It makes Mojo a bit less secure, but then I'm the person using it just to draw my things. I'm kind of couching all the drawing commands inside graphics. Objects. Don't know. Anyway. This is going to be the solution here, is I'm not going to use my canvas, I'll use the original Mojo canvas. It means I include Mojo, but not stupid Mojo extra. Now, I guess what I have is a global project, class project. And tempter is something that exists in here. And I could just pluck it out. I mean, what I'm going to be doing here, I assume, is like with the main, well, like with FFmpeg, in order for it to be a process launched by my recursor app, I've stuck it in the place the recursor app runs from. So I imagine myself compiling this program, the render program, and sticking it in there. So if I have this function, which is tempter, when I compile this and stick it in there, it'll look for the same temperature, like it's apter. Oh man, I don't actually need to use that. It's like apter, yeah. Okay, thank you. Now that bit makes sense. Now this bit is all gibberish now, really, because I'm not starting any new process. This bit, I am actually. Come to think of it. Gosh darn it. Jiminy Cricket. Well, I will have this. Problem? Yeah. This is not going to produce render message and render finished. This is, I'm kind of just looking through this code and correcting these things. This may change obviously slightly. But render finished, like ffmpeg is the command I'm starting with, with the vidrender process. ffmpeg communicates through other means, not std out, which is what monkey will recognize with vidrender message and vidrender finished. But I will make these functions because it'll get me out of why that's not gone okay now. You do know that? Vid. These are I can't understand why I've got them lowercase starting with lowercase character. Well, I'm confused because it seemed to kind of fix itself before this was me playing around to see if I could get ffmpeg to respond to me. I can get ffmpeg to direct its output elsewhere, like to a text file. So if it's okay to do that, and I'm okay to read the text file simultaneously, then I think I'm okay, particularly with this running as a separate process itself. I can set this to go into a sort of waiting state, just looking at a text file and, I don't know, sort of updating the recursor itself once in a while. The render process updating the recursor process. Just using std out, which I'm guessing is a print. But anyhow, what else has gone wrong? Project draw mode. It's saying it's got nothing called draw mode. Oh, draw type not found. Right. Right, well, I guess you told me. And I guess that I will pop this out there and into here. And see how you like that now. Thanks. Now, okay. Not my canvas, just canvas. surprised. Pretty sure all this will be okay, it's just sums and ordinary structure, no real cause to anything. Now that is, well, that's so, according to my figuring, this is what it needs to get it going. This is not going to work yet. What I'm hoping is I'm going to compile this and it'll do basically nothing. Here we go. Debug, please. GUI or console. I'm never really sure what the difference is. Right. Recursor classes. Draw. Snap. G-color. Gadget. What is it? Okay. What's this first? Sides. Right. Let me see. Snap. Am I going to have to further subdivide this? Because I don't need to know about snaps for the purposes of rendering. And I don't need to know about sides for the purposes of rendering. Do I? I never make use of a side. If I did, I'd know about it in here. So, I'm loath to. But, maybe project comes with me. And it becomes recursor project source. Recursor wants recursor classes. Well, wants recursor project and recursor classes. Do I make yet more namespace? I think I've got no choice but to do this, haven't I? Here's my time, 22 minutes. You know, I'm all for making my code, breaking my code into manageable chunks, but I feel like I manage big chunks. I don't know. That's not really true, is it? I just get bogged down in big chunks. I just think I manage them. This is the way it has to be, and I think I'll just take that with it, I guess. It needs to know it. Other things need to know it, but then other things need to know project that need to know it. So, and I think that here I will say, God damn it. Okay, right. No, okay. Maybe I change my mind back again. Maybe actually what I say is the snaps are the things I don't need. And the snaps, which were the source, or the original reason for this piece of source, maybe they are the things that can go back into the cursor down the bottom with me sort of specific gadgets. There's also the snaps. How about that? Oops. You don't get saved. Discard. Save all. Now I'm just kind of whipping through this to get a little preemptive guess as to if I bet there are other problems with this. Wow. Okay, where am I here? Okay. Oh man. That's in GUI globals, isn't it? Yep. GUI image. Is that set up in... Oh man, this is really tedious. And it's the weakest, like it's one of the weakest parts of the GUI. It's also one of the things I like about it is that it will all draw from a single texture if you want it to. But it's also the goofiest bit of it that's to get set up. Am I just going to take GUI globals as well? I guess I am. I guess that's the other thing I'm going to take, and then I'll have GUI image. But then I've got to init GUI image, haven't I? It's not going to take me there. All stuff in GUI classes referring to gadget. I'd love to know what the things are in recursor classes that are referring to gadget. It's not got the red lines. No, not recursor classes, GUI classes. Here referring to gadget, of course. Whew, okay, yeah. These are the things that are really for the GUI, which I mustn't forget. You know, I find it easy to forget that that some of these things, sure, are the latest sort of up-to-date versions of just my classes, but some of these things are about the GUI. gprint, for example. And gtext. I think that's pretty much about the GUI. gfont. Yeah. Is really set up for... Okay, right, well, what are my other options? I suppose my other options are to not take this, but to take the bits of this that I'm actually going to use in rrender. So I don't take general, and I don't take GUI classes. I don't even think I take code debug, really. I suppose I could for now. I say no to that, and I say no to that. I say no to that. And I take all the kicks in the teeth. But I see that I instantly need vertices and matrices. Do I want to make another little include here? Oh my goodness me. I'm so slow to think about these things, but yes I do. I do indeed. I want to say new, and I want to save it. Site code, and it is render classes. Oh, I hate myself. I'll just call it render space. Okay, and in here is going to go G-string time for no reason, vector, matrix, vertices, did I remove those from there? No, good. I'll take the limits. Don't think I need anything else. Don't need the font, text, color. Need color. Do I? I'm going to wait and see if I do. Do I need image? No, not really. I don't need these things. Need regular spline. I think I do need color. Oh man. I have a feeling I'm going to get into trouble with this. I better take color. Man. What a lot of crazy stuff I have in here. I've gone for G image. I don't know why I just copied that across, but I have no possible use. Why can't you tell me what's in my source yet? Surely I have no possible use for G image. Or G material. In this code, am I getting this right? Yeah, I do need the regular spine. And I guess I will take these as well to render classes. I wish it does show me my source. Maybe it will now. Color, spline, vertices. Identifier name. Yeah, file name. Okay. I know these are also in Monkey. I've found them since importing these old things I wrote. I don't know, did I write these? I've certainly written things like these a long time ago. Okay, debug right. Padded int. Oh god. I bet I've got the way this argument types float. Oh, V. Yeah, that is pretty weird. Corner set equals project corner set to vertices. Do you know what a corner set is? Cursor classes are class space. What? Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to call it a day just now. Yeah, the cursor classes isn't using general space if our render is the... Am I just gonna have to stick general back in? Should I just... I feel really bad about having to put that back. Okay, I'm gonna come back shortly and sort this out.